Skeleton Crew just dropped a teaser. We got our first look at the new live-action Star Wars series that will be dropping this December. I made a reaction video, and I have a lot more to say. But first, let's hear what you have to say, Royce.
I watched the teaser too early in the morning to realize I could have made my own reaction video. Yeah, I didn't have the wherewithal to plan ahead, but I watched the teaser as soon as it dropped, basically. To paraphrase you a little bit, you had said you're normally open to new Star Wars, even if it's not for you. This looks like a wholesome, family fun adventure. And I have to agree with you that I'm just open for new Star Wars. I feel like I'm in the same position as I was a few years ago when I got into Bad Batch in Rebels, when we were in a lull in between new Star Wars shows. I, in fact, even watched an episode of Young Jedi Adventures the other day.
Nice.
This is the stage of my life I'm in with Star Wars. I'm ready for more. I'm glad that we're getting another series that seems to be another new genre, and especially that it seems to be a much more simple premise, you know, especially coming after The Acolyte, which was gray and complex, and we don't know who to root for. And with this, who doesn't root for a lovable child on an adventure? I'm lost. We're so lost. We got to get home. It seems like there's a little bit more fun, a little bit more adventure, a little bit more hope, which is maybe going to be more widely well received for this show, hopefully.
This teaser trailer is maybe the most condensed meta stuff. Who wasn't that kid in this trailer that's like, I want to go on an adventure. I think I found a lost Jedi temple. You know, we're running around in the woods. He wants like a more fun life outside of suburbia, go on these adventures.
No more pretend.
Right. Exactly. He's got a little Jedi light bright watching like Tales of the Jedi on his little screen. It's everything that we want and wanted as like kids who loved Star Wars. And it will be great for kids now who love Star Wars and for kids getting into Star Wars. This will bring a whole new generation of kids into Star Wars, which is also great. We're like fueling the next generation of fans, which is a wholesome endeavor in and of itself. And I'm just so excited for this. And I, of course, like I love the Amblin style films from like our childhoods in the 90s that this is all touching on. I also love Stranger Things, which you can also see some references or some similarities there as well. I'm pretty excited about this. I do think that the trailer was very, very meta on purpose to bring us all back to remember why we fell in love with Star Wars in the first place. This will be a show for everyone. It will be for kids. It will be for adults. The trailer also looked incredible, like very deep, very rich. I'm really excited for this, much more than I was before I saw the teaser.
I can tell. Dude, you should get a job with PR at Disney Lucasfilm, because you're selling me on the show even more than the trailer was. You know, the trailer's only a minute and a half or so long. You know, I never saw E.T. or The Goonies, if you can believe it.
Ooh,
I mean, I was born in 89, so I'm much more of a 90s kid, and I don't think we had those movies like on VHS. I'm not looking at the trailer and seeing the nostalgia. I do see the parallels to Stranger Things, which I do love. The most relatable thing, I think, in the trailer to me is when they're in like the gymnasium at the school and you're taking this test that's going to determine your entire future. Like it's the SAT or the Regents exam, whatever it is. And yeah, I can remember being in that situation, being like, this sucks. We should just go on our own adventure. Let's, you know, get the band together and go on tour or whatever. Get the kids together on their speeder bikes and go make your own adventure. So I do see that as being a huge strength with the show. You're making me feel like, is this show going to save the Star Wars fandom by bringing us all together? Like you said, this is going to speak to the stereotypical young Star Wars fan, or at least the young Star Wars fan within the adult Star Wars fan.
Yeah, this is going to sound like hyperbole, but this is an incredible moment in Star Wars. Okay, stay with me. We're coming off of The Acolyte, and we're getting Skeleton Crew. And then we're going into Andor season 2. So we have this very deep, complicated Jedi story, very gray story. And then we're going into this wholesome kids story. And then we're going into the heavy political drama. We truly are making Star Wars for everyone.
That's all the more reason why we should respect a property like The Acolyte, even if it's different, even if it doesn't hit in the ways that you want it to hit, because boom, now you're getting this completely opposite end of the spectrum for a type of Star Wars story. And then, like you said, we're going to go to Andor, once again, whipping back and forth. And if you're bored in between, then you can jump on Disney Plus and watch some young Jedi adventures. Do you have reservations about the show?
I feel like this is going to be something that maybe some people don't like the way I'm about to say this, but I'm feeling like I'm having less reservations about this stuff as time goes on. I know how my heart is going to feel when I'm watching these kids out on an adventure in the galaxy, an adventure that I wish I was on when I was 12, 13 years old. Even now, right? Yeah, get me out of here. Let me go into space and go on an adventure. I hope I find a ship in the ground. So I know how my heart's going to feel. I know how I'm going to be fully consumed and immersed in the world. So it's hard for me to have reservations. Like, I don't have any expectations. I don't have any knowledge of the story or anything. I have some things that I think might happen or that I'm arrogantly pretty sure will happen, but I don't have expectations going into it. And even if I did, I know that I now check those expectations and I'm not mad when stuff doesn't play out the way I want.
You know, it kind of reminds me of The Mandalorian, where you're like, we just don't know what this guy's about. So we just have to see. And that turned out to be great. You know, it's not about maybe this Jude Law guy is a Jedi. We don't know if he's good or bad or what are the Jedi in this going to be like if that's truly what his character is. That's maybe a different question for a different day when we get more information. We could speculate, obviously, but it's not a show about the Jedi. It's a show about these kids, right? Not a show about the politics of the entire galaxy. So it's living in a different space there that we can give it some more freedom, which is always what we're trying to do. And sometimes we have to try a lot harder when it's dealing with the Jedi and the Sith and our preconceived notions about them. Yeah, reservations is interesting. I mean, you never know. We've just seen a teaser. It's not even a full trailer. We're going to get more information to speculate on, and who knows what the actual show will be like. Who knows what the run times will be like. We do know there is going to be at least one obligatory tentacle monster.
I think it's more, I think it's a giant crab maybe, but yeah.
Always got to be one of those grotesque CGI monsters though. So
yeah, we don't know anything about Jude Law's character other than he is a Force user. We know that this is taking place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, so just a few years after the Battle of Endor. So right in that kind of Mandoverse time frame. So if he is a Jedi, right, the Jedi are just coming out of being hunted, persecuted, erased from existence. So we see this kind of dirty, grungy, hooded figure moving a key with his mind. Even if he wasn't a Jedi, all Force users were targeted, right? To either like work for Sidious or be killed. There might be a little complex character there.
What kind of Jedi do you want him to be?
I want this to be a found family show, the likes of which we have seen only in animated Star Wars so far. Like Rebels, like the Bad Batch, I want him, I don't care what kind of Jedi he is. Blue lightsaber, maybe? I don't care. But I want him to be what we described Crosshair as being in season 3 of The Bad Batch. The reluctant father saying, no, kids, you can't come with me. I can't get you home. I've got more important things to do, or I'm on the run, or there's still people like, we're Imperial remnants, right? There's still people hunting me. And then he like takes on these kids and takes on the mission of getting them home with pirates on their tail. Maybe a treasure, because we seem to have that Treasure Island / Hook vibe going on here with some of this stuff. I would really like him to play that role so that it sets up this like wonderful found family storytelling that we have been such fans of in the animated stuff.
Yeah, I love that. Bad Batch has done that found family story so well. Mandalorian's done it pretty well. You know, of course, Rebels, you made the comparison, you know, with Kanan. I might have some reservations if this guy is another jerk Jedi, you know, or we need some lighthearted, fun hope. This needs to be the ideal Star Wars, not the complex gray Star Wars that we got with the Acolyte. I don't think we need to inject that here. Make Jude Law a bad guy that the kids need to realize they shouldn't trust, and the kids take him down in the end, sort of thing. The kids best him. Or have him be that reluctant father figure, the Kanan Jarrus, that try to protect them while they're out in the galaxy.
Or have the kids teach him that lesson, like with Crosshair, like a little bit with Kanan. What I think will happen here is we're going to see this through the kids' point of view, like with all of the Amblin storytelling, like with Stranger Things, we get the kids' point of view and the adults not taking them seriously. Same thing happens in The Bad Batch. Omega's like, you need to start taking me seriously. I think in that respect, things will be very black and white because to kids, things are black and white. So I think maybe we'll see the kids learn some lessons about like complexity of character development and the way the galaxy actually works and stuff like that. But we'll also see them have an impact on the father figure or the leader of the group eventually when they meet Jude Law and whether he tries to get them home or not.
I love that. And I think there even is a scene in The Acolyte. It's one of the Jedi Masters. It might even be Sol. You know, I like to think they teach me as much as I teach them. Like if we get some of those moments from these kids and the Jude Law character, and also us as the audience members, teach me Star Wars, teach me how to be a better member of this galaxy, teach me to love this property again. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Joey, you have me super excited for this show. We've got to wait until December, though. We've got a lot of time to continue to speculate on this. But listeners, we'd love to keep this conversation going with you. Drop your comments here on YouTube and make sure to subscribe and tune in next time for more nerdy pop culture, but mostly Star Wars, maybe even The Young Jedi if I can convince Joey to binge it with me. And thanks for listening to the show today.